Like Peter.
Yeah. Okay, welcome everyone to our Ordinance Committee. Let's call the meeting to order and rise for the pledge. Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I still look like Friar Tuck on the back.
Prior talk.
Jesus. Well, you know, you have old man delusion. You don't see that in the mirror.
That's why I avoid mirrors at all costs. That's what you do when you get older. You avoid them.
The eyesight goes when you get to be our age.
I'll do a quick roll call. Mayor Kaczynski.
Here.
Counselor Atkinson, Counselor Capola,
Here.
Counselor Payanessa.
Here.
Counselor Rosso. You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. We have an audience of citizens next. I don't see a lot of people clamoring to speak. Yeah, I don't see anyone actually. Yes, well, maybe they're hiding somewhere, Sandy. We don't know. So we'll close that and we'll go ahead. We'll take a motion to approve our special meeting of the May 20th.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, so moved. And on to the discussion.
So I'll just add in your packet.
Yep.
We received more information from SH Acoustics that actually came in this afternoon.
Oh, okay, great.
And so if you recall, what we had talked about last time was it seemed like the committee was comfortable now with the language potentially for the updated noise ordinance. But then the question became, what type of equipment would our police officers need? And what kind of training would they need for this additional tone testing that we would do with their noise ordinance? So Tessa sent this email, it's in your packet, which if you recall, there were two different options. There was a standalone device that the town could purchase. And there was also a kind of hybrid device that would be made up of like an Apple product, maybe an iPhone or an iPad, a precision microphone, a calibrator, and then audio tool software. And so you'll see in your packets that the iPad option is estimated at $1,522. And the standalone device is $3,661.
Okay.
So the big difference in price between the two.
Yes.
And, I think last time what they said was the software and the calibrator can get you within about like 1 decibel. It's really close. And so we would still need to bring in professionals in a case where this would be our officers would be able to tell us that, yes, this is likely in violation of the existing noise ordinance, but then we would still need to bring in an SH Acoustics type to measure that sound.
So we would need to do that in either case, no matter what we purchase.
In order to, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's, and I'd like, if hopefully Jeff will be here soon so you can weigh in on that, but
Okay.
that's my understanding.
Yeah, I
of
think
it.
he said that last time.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if it's 2,000 plus cheaper to go with the Apple product,
Right.
why not do that if in either case
Absolutely.
still might have to pay for services? If he says, well, gee, if you get the equipment, that one item, we'll never have to call in a consultant, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
'Cause then we have to take into consideration how much it costs for the consultants.
Yeah, plus,
No.
if you need the item at the same place, different places at the same time. I mean, yeah, I think the Apple's the way to go, personally.
Yeah, because at least it'll tell us if we do need to call the professional. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need,
Right.
that's all we need. But yeah, I wouldn't spend the $3,600.
Yeah, I
either.
think if Jeff can answer that, then we know which way to go.
Yeah.
I think he did say that last time, but
Yeah.
we could.
He agreed with that.
Right? I think he did, yeah. I
That
think he
was
did.
my understanding. Now,
Probably in our minutes right there if we look.
Is that
Probably-
our only question?
what's that?
Is that our only
The
question?
other question was for training, how much training would it
Oh, yes.
involve for
Yeah.
for our officers? And based on what Tessa had said in her email, it says we would estimate training for either of these methods to be 3 to 4 hours for full exposure and practice. So it's really an afternoon or half
Yeah.
a day training for our officers to get trained with this new feature. And SH Acoustics also confirmed that they could perform the training as well. I
Oh,
mean, we've been
okay.
working with them for a number of months now, and they've been
We
very.
don't want full exposure, though. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Couldn't resist. Sorry. Gotta have a laugh once in a while.
Exactly. So that's pretty much it in your packet. I also included the language of the noise ordinance that SH Acoustics had suggested that we add. And
Look at that
I
one.
know we had spent some time in previous meetings talking about that and getting comfortable with this
Yeah.
pure tone condition. And so I think one of the questions that remains is, I think Jeff was saying at the last meeting that it would make sense to have the equipment and the training in place before we adopted an ordinance, because if we.
So the lead time he had said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
so-
was just reading the minutes because I was looking what he had said,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so I'm just wondering if we're comfortable, if the ordinance review committee is comfortable with this, then maybe we bring it to the council for the next meeting to purchase equipment and talk about the ordinance, the full council, or I think we're kind of at that point.
I think so. What do we
I
think?
think so. I'm good
I
with it.
think the only outstanding question that,
Pluses it, I'm good.
yeah, I think the only question Jeff wanted to know is how long the app had been around and.
Yeah.
You know, reliability, I think, and that's just for, for knowledge on that, but,
That's gonna be the precursor. That wouldn't stand up on a
right,
enforcement anyway, so.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just gonna tell us if there is a problem or not, right?
Yeah,
It would have,
5 decibels over,
Then-
you know you got a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Then we call in acoustical engineers, right?
and hopefully we don't have any.
Let's hope we don't have any.
Right.
That would be the hope, that we
Do
don't.
all this and
Yeah,
then everything goes quiet, so.
Right.
it would be nice.
That's.
Don't bet it.
Well, yeah.
How was this happen with that guy with the pool pump? Remember?
That's what started all this. I had the
Oh,
fan that
That's
made
what-
noise.
Yeah, the fan.
The fan that did start
That
that.
was pre-you.
Whatever happened with that?
Never heard the end of it.
I think they said that you'd have to file a complaint with the police and the guy didn't want
He
to.
didn't do it. Or it was a private action between
It was a neighbor.
homeowners. It was a neighbor
Yeah.
next door, yeah.
But,
It was a different neighbor.
So can we adjourn this?
Um,
Do you want to make a motion to send to the full?
we're just,
I
yeah,
make a motion, we send it
yeah.
to the council as described here,
Yeah, second.
second,
Thank you.
with the recommendation that we purchase the less expensive equipment.
Yes.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
that
excellent.
works.
That's seconded, so.
Seconded, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved. Motion to adjourn? So moved.
So I'm-
Second.
All set, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're all set. Yeah.